All right, what's up, guys? So first off, before I dive into this video, I want to acknowledge that I've been away for 4 weeks. Part of the reason why I've been away for such a long time is something I will discuss in this video and something that I'll walk you guys through. And obviously, as you can see, I'm super sunburned, but that's just part of the game when you're health maxing. So in terms of what I want to discuss in this video is really just my journey of eating raw meat for about 6 to 8 months. I was only eating raw foods. That's it. So raw ground beef. I was having raw eggs, raw milk, raw butter. That was the only thing I was eating. I didn't have any cooked foods at all for 6 months straight. And at the end of this video, I'll share to you exactly like the results, how I felt, and why I ultimately stopped doing it at the beginning of this year. So basically, to start off, like the reason why I started it in the beginning, and the reason why I went on this diet is because I've been trying different diets, trying different ways of eating for pretty much last 2 to 3 years since I got into more like entrepreneurship. I was trying to optimize my health, my focus, my energy, and I was trying a diet, Alex Becker's diet in the beginning, where I was doing like a lot of oats. I was drinking olive oil. I was having chicken breasts, super dry without any seasonings. I did that for a while. Then for a while I did just normal carnivore, cooked food, salt, water, eggs, that kind of thing. And then I ended up getting more into it. I saw some people online who were doing like a raw diet where they just had raw meat, and I was like, damn, this seems so like effective. I don't need to cook. I don't need to like prepare food. It's supposed to give you more energy, higher testosterone. I was like, okay, I have to try this. So I ended up trying it, and I started doing, like I said, raw ground beef. So I would have like around 1 kilo of raw ground beef every single day. I would drink like 10 eggs, and I would have, on top of that, I would also have some butter that I would melt and then drink. So it might sound like super disgusting, and for most people that I told about it, like they were kind of skeptical and like not very like open to the idea of doing it, to be honest. But I did that, and like I felt great, to be honest. Like, and I had a lot of energy. I could fast the entire day, just have one big meal in the evening, and like I felt good by doing that. And yeah, it was great. I had a lot of energy, felt like testosterone was increasing. I had a lot of like high libido. I had definitely higher testosterone levels. I had more hair growth. Like everything was great. I got really good results from doing it. So I was doing that. I kept doing it for 6 months. I would just every day have raw meat. I would go to the store, buy it from a butcher, wherever it is, and just eat it. So it was super simple. I saved a lot of time. But then what ended up happening after 6 months of doing that, I all of a sudden, like completely randomly, one day I just first off, what happened is I started having like super loose stools and just like diarrhea pretty much. And then I think one day after that, I just threw up. I felt like complete shit. I threw up like 5 times in within like 24 or 48 hours. Felt like complete shit. And I was like messaging some of the people that I was like learning from, some of my mentors, like what's going on, why is this happening, like what's going on with me, like what do I need to change, should I eat something bad, like because when you're coming from like a traditional mindset, like you're used to when you're throwing up, you're sick or like something's wrong when you have food poisoning. But what these guys told me and what I realized, like those things that were happening when I was throwing up, that's just my body detoxing. It's the natural process that your body uses to remove toxins from your body. So, and that means that it's a good thing. So ultimately, like what was happening, my diarrhea and my like me vomiting and stuff, that was ultimately good because it was my body like removing toxins and bad stuff from my body. But obviously it doesn't feel very good in the moment. You're throwing up, you're feeling like shit, you have no energy. I couldn't eat normally for like 5 days pretty much. I felt like complete shit, and I could barely like work, and like I was just felt like shit. So, but and eventually that ended. They gave me some recommendations, started having some different foods. I got back into it. My detoxing kind of like calmed down, and I was able to get back into it eating. But the issue then was like I started kind of resenting food. Like I struggled eating food, especially like raw ground beef, because last time I had it, I threw up, so I had like a bad taste in my mouth, and I struggled eating big amounts of it. So I would my dinners would take like 4 hours or like 3-4 hours just sitting there and trying to eat that 1 kilo of meat. I tried different like sauces, different condiments, like different things I could do to make it easier to stomach, but like I couldn't do it. So eventually, and that went on for a while, Then in ending of last year, so in December last year, was on a vacation with my family in Mexico, and then I had another detox. So once again, I started throwing up, had crazy diarrhea, felt like shit. Was basically in my bed for like almost a week, couldn't do anything at all because I was like I couldn't eat anything, had no energy, like just throwing up back and forth to the toilet, and I was like, this isn't worth it. Like 80% of the time, I feel great. I have a lot of energy, and a super efficient diet that saves so much time. 20% of the time, at that point, I just feel like shit. Can't do anything. Just laying in bed. Couldn't do any activities with my family. Could barely work. Like zero. You know? And at that point, I was like, this isn't worth it. Like the upside that I get from this diet isn't worth it compared to the downside. So slowly I started making a shift. Slowly I started going back to like eating cooked foods again, and like energy wasn't as good. I didn't have like the same benefits of like energy, skin. I noticed that everything got a bit worse by going back to cooked food. So what I ended up doing is I ended up having like cooked steaks. That's what I'm doing right now as well. Cooked steaks, cooked eggs, butter, having some avocados, having some olive oil, things like that. So more like a normal diet, and like it tastes way better as well. To be honest, like I actually enjoy the food that I'm having right now. But like those benefits, definitely I've lost some of the benefits I had before. The energy isn't as high anymore. Skin isn't as good. Those are just like the main things I can think of right now. But I think that long term it's worth it because now I can be like, I would say like 80% of my like peak health. That's where I'm at right now, I would say. And I can keep that for the long term because I'm not detoxing, I'm not throwing up, I'm not having diarrhea and things like that. Versus being maybe like 95% of peak health on a raw diet, which I believe is the best thing to do. But then having these crashes and having these detoxes, like I don't think that's worth it. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just doing this diet where I'm having ribeyes, I'm having eggs, and it's just fucking delicious. I love eating this way. So it tastes great. I feel good, feel consistent, feel good overall. And that's what I'm planning on continuing to do as well. So that's my experience with the raw meat diet and like having done it. And like as I said, like I truly believe this is the best way to eat. And like if you can afford feeling like shit and you're willing to go through that short-term discomfort, it will give you, like you will feel better, you will have more energy, you will have more like benefits from that ultimately. But obviously you have to go through that short-term discomfort. So the question is just like, is it worth it for you or not? So that's my experience with it. And for you, all of you guys who are interested in more this carnivore stuff, the diet, people who want to learn more about it, people who have been doing this for a while, if that's you, I've been starting a group right now for people who are like, even if you're amateur, you're just like starting off, you're a complete beginner getting into this diet, and you want to maybe fix some like health issues you're having, just have more energy, you like eating meat, whatever it is. I have a community for guys like you, and also for like people who's done this for like 5-10 years and want to share your experience, learn from others, and connect and share knowledge. I made a completely free group for carnivores, people who are interested in this, so that people can come in and like learn from each other, share knowledge, and just help each other grow. So if that's something that you're interested in, if you want to get into that, I have a link here in the description you can click. Top on that group, and right now it's just me and one more guy that's in the group. But we're looking to grow that, and if you're interested, hop in there, and let's connect there, and we can keep the conversation going. I'm interested to hear if you guys have experience within having raw food and stuff like that. So hop in the link, check that out, and I'll see you over there. Peace.